Well, hello Divi Nation and welcome to a brand new Divi use case live stream where each week we show you how to add new design and functionality to your Divi websites. And today we're going to be showing you how you can create a sticky promo video with a ShowHide toggle in Divi for your page. And it's pretty simple. We'll get into that in a moment. Don't forget to check out the video description for more info on this use case and also more info on our Black Friday sale, which is coming soon. I have a link in there to our Black Friday page, which will give you all the information on those wonderful freebies, discounts, and perks that are available for you. So check that out. And without wasting any time, let's jump in and get started. All right, so welcome everyone. Just want to make sure I'm coming in loud and clear. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay. Also, let us know where you're from. Tell us hello in the chat. And of course, as always, ask any questions and hopefully I can get them answered or someone in the chat will help you guys out. All right, so hello, the Marine from Texas. Welcome. Nice to hear from a fellow Texan and a Marine. Thank you for your service. Awesome, man. All right. Hello, Alexis from Chile. All right. If you wouldn't mind, give me a thumbs up that you can hear me okay. All right. That'll help me out so I can just plug along with the confidence that you can all hear me. Sometimes these live streams will mess up, so I just want to make sure. All right. Thank you guys. Kinsley, welcome from Cape Town, South Africa. Awesome to have you. All right, so as we're more and more are trickling in here, just a reminder, today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be building a sticky promo video with a ShowHide toggle in Divi. This will be helpful for those sales pages that feature a really great high converting video that you want to keep at the forefront as the user scrolls down the page. I will give you a little sneak peek. Here it is, the working example right here. So here's the video. And as I scroll down the page, you'll see that it will stick to the top right of the page as the user scrolls down. And of course, if I can play the video anytime. And if I want to hide the video, I have this nice little toggle there to just hide it. And of course, show it whenever I want, which is a nice user experience feature there. And of course, it'll come back to its original state when you scroll back to the top of the page. And if I play the video at the top and scroll down, you can see it'll keep playing. And this would be awesome, like for tutorial videos that you want to, keep it at the forefront as the user goes through the content of the page. So it's not only great for sales pages, probably would have a lot of great uses for this. So that's kind of where we're going. We're going to be adding it to one of our pre-made layouts. This one's the digital marketing pre-made layout, and we'll show you how to do that in a moment. So excited to get into it with you guys. Let's check the chat. All right, Jet Set Sky King. All right, hello and thank you. You're my only thumbs up, so I'm thankful for that. I know I can keep going. All right. All right, so thank you, the Marine from Texas. Sounds great on YouTube. Awesome. Hello, Anna, Gemina, and Arta Studio. Welcome. And I think we are ready to get rolling with creating this thing. So Let's see. Joshua Bridge, thanks for joining us, and thanks for the encouragement. Appreciate that. All right, so let's go on. What I'm going to do first off is create a new page. So we're going to start from scratch here to build our promo video, our sticky promo video. And to do that, I'm just going to create a new page, give it a title, and I'll click to use the Divi builder because we're going to build this on the front end. And I'll be prompted with these options. I'm going to choose a pre-made layout for this one. All right, and I'm going to use the digital marketing. So I'm going to search for that one in the search here from my load from library pop-up here. And the one I'm looking for is the services page. So I'm going to digital marketing services page. It will work with, any page, but just for ease of use, I'm going to use this one. And I'm going to make sure and click use this layout. That'll load the layout to the page. While that's happening, let me make sure and say hello to any newcomers. Leanne, hello from Nigeria Falls, Canada. It's always great to see where you guys are from. All right, let's keep going. All right, so here's my layout. It's already loaded to my page, ready to edit with the Divi builder on the front end. And first thing I'm going to do is, actually, I'm just going to take out this text block here, or this text module with this mock text, just to save some room here for my video. And then right underneath here, you can see I'm inside of a section. Actually, I'm going to first deploy my layers view. I always like to do that first, so just so you know where I'm coming from. There's my layers view icon there in my settings menu. I'm going to toggle that open. And then I'm going to make sure and bring it kind of over here to the left. Bring my menu back down to the bottom. Sounds good, or it looks good. Okay, so as you can see, I'm at the top header section. So here's my header section, and within the header section, I have a row. And so what I want to do is add a new row underneath this row right here. So let's do that. So new row, and let's make it a 1-column row. This is the row where we will add our, video, basically. Before I add any modules, though, I do want to edit this row here. So I'm going to jump into the row settings, and then I'm going to change the Z index. So the reason why I'm going to do that is because I'm creating a sticky video that I want to kind of stay above the rest of the content as you scroll down the page. So I want to make sure the Z index is high enough for the row so that it sits above all the other rows on the page, if that makes sense. So higher Z index makes it, sit above the rest of the content on the page. So I'm going to jump into my advanced options here. Go to position. And then underneath there's my Z index. It's going to be 0 by default. I'm just going to jump it up to 14. And that will take care of that. And so the reason why I do that is because when I put the video in here, if I don't set that Z index for the row, that video would probably hide behind, like if I scroll down, that video would hide behind some of this content if I had some overlapping content. We want to make sure that video stays above. All right, so let's continue on here by adding the video. So I'm going to add my video inside this new row here. All right, so by default, you see I have that very familiar, if you're using Divi for as long as I have, this is a very familiar video, mock video here. This is actually a YouTube video. It's actually using the URL to embed the YouTube video within the video module here. Just right off the bat, I just want to just kind of give you a little heads up. For some reason, whenever we add a YouTube video here, the sticky video will have some audio problems whenever you start scrolling down. So best that you, and I'll get to some solutions as if you do want to use a YouTube video for your promo video, you can. It's just probably best not to use it within the video module, and I'll show you what I mean later on. So the best thing to do would be to add your MP4 and WebM files to the video module. So what I'm going to do is delete that one, the mock video, and I'm going to add my MP4 video. And this one, of course, I'm hosting on my WordPress backend here, and it's in my media gallery, but you can also include a link to an MP4 file, you know, hosted in a third party somewhere else, or, you know, if you wanted to, if you had like a CDN or something like that, you can also do that. And then I'm going to include my WebM file. It's always good to use both because the WebM version of the file will actually load faster on browsers that support it. And so we always want to include that as well. So both of my videos are loaded. And now I'm going to just to clarify about the YouTube video. Sorry, I'm jumping back and forth here, but if you're using a YouTube video, for some reason, the main problem is not just embedding the YouTube video. You can do that fine. The problem is if you use an overlay. That is where you run into some trouble. And there's more information on the blog posts about it, but I'm going to use an overlay because overlays are cool for this one. But if you are using an overlay with an embedded YouTube video on the video module, there will be a little audio glitch. And so just warning you about that. Okay, so here we go. Overlay video image. I'm just going to add a new one here from my library. I want to find the same one that I used, although I'm not seeing it here. Okay, you know what? Okay, just going to copy it and paste it in here. There we go. So add my image overlay. And now I'm going to jump into the design settings for the actual video. So under the design tab, you're going to update the sizing. So I'm going to do that. And this, of course, is optional. You can do whatever you want. I'm just going to give it a max width of 900. Setting a max width here actually kind of smooths the transition from when it comes from the original state to the sticky state. So I like to add a max width there. It also kind of works better with the overall design, I think. Make sure to set your module alignment to center since you do have a max width set. And I'm going to jump down to my border options. Give this a rounded corner of 8. And let's do, while we're here, let's do a little box shadow. Let's just choose this one here, just to give it some depth. It also helps whenever it's in the sticky state to have that box shadow kind of sits above and sets itself apart. All right, and that's pretty much it for the video. It's ready to go. Only thing I need to do now is make it sticky. All right, so before I do that, I just want to welcome everyone who is maybe just joining us to our Divi use case live stream. And each week we show you how to add new design and functionality to our Divi websites. And today we're showing you how to add, or create rather, a sticky promo video with a ShowHide toggle in Divi. Please don't forget to check the video description for more info on this, and also more info on the amazing Black Friday sale that's coming up. So with that, let's continue. We've added our video. We really didn't do anything special. The only thing we've done is created our video with our MP4 and WebM files in there. We created an overlay. And now we're ready to make it sticky. So we can use Divi's sticky options to do this. But the unique thing here that I'm going to show you is I'm going to add the sticky state actually to the column, not the video. We could add it to the video, but the column option, or adding it to the column, kind of opens up more opportunities for you. Like for instance, if you wanted to add multiple elements around, in and around the video, or under, like for example, if you wanted to have a button that sits under the video. Well, if you make the column the container rather, that this video and your buttons sits in, if you make that sticky, the column sticky, it will, of course, make all of the elements within it sticky as well. So that's the reason. Also, it will allow you to create, different layouts. Maybe you want the video on the right side and the text on the left. You don't want this centered layout. Well, with using this technique, you'll be able to do that and still have it function like you want. So I'm going to add it to our sticky state to the column. So to do that, I'm going to open up my row settings. I can also use my layers view over here to open up my column settings. And so this is the column, of course, that contains the video. That's very important. Then what I'm going to do is add a class. So I need a custom class for this column. So under my Advanced tab, under CSS ID and Classes, I'm going to go to my CSS class, and I'm going to add the class ET Sticky Video. All right, so once that's done, that's going to be used for some, advanced, for our advanced toggle functionality in our code that we're going to add that toggle functionality with some jQuery. We just need that selector there for later on. Now we can add our sticky position. So scroll under our Advanced tab still, go to Scroll Effects, and let's do the sticky position as Stick to Top. All right. And then our transition default, actually for this one, there is a default transition, and that's kind of like how it transitions from the default state to the sticky state. I'm actually going to not use that because I feel like the less movement, the better for this transition. So I'm just going to opt to not use that. So I'm going to select no. Transition defaults and sticky styles set to no. All right. And that's basically all you need to do to make your column with your video sticky. So I'm going to save my changes. And now that one of the important reasons to add your sticky state as one of the first steps is because you want to be able to now, once you have that sticky state in place, you'll have those other sticky options within the design settings available. So for instance, now that I have the sticky state in place, I can go back to my column here with the sticky state, go back to my column settings, go back to my advanced tab. This is basically where we were. And for my sticky state, for my column, I'm going to add some custom CSS. So this is for the main element. So I'm going to open up my sticky state by clicking my sticky icon here. It looks like a thumbtack. And I'm going to leave the desktop block open or blank, but under my sticky tab, make sure that's selected. I'm going to paste in this CSS, which will do a couple of things. It will, let me zoom in, maybe it'll help. It will change the width, override the width, and make it to 300 pixels, which I thought was a good width to kind of still be visible and still be actually visible on all browsers, mobile as well. And so not be too distracting. I'm also going to give the default position because when your element is in a sticky state, it has the fixed position. So by giving this right property a value of 0 pixels, basically I'm saying I want it to sit all the way to the right of my browser. And then I'm going to also update the left to auto because I want it to, in other words, I want that position to be auto-generated, not fixed. In other words, I don't want to put 0 to the left or anything like that. And then the top I want to be 0. So basically, this is telling it to go at the top, very top, at 0 pixels, and then at the very right of the browser at 0 pixels. So that's all I'm doing. And of course, this is all happening only in the sticky state. All right. Also, what I could do is go to my design tab and let's see. Let me move this over and let me just kind of see what happens in the visual builder. You can see that now my sticky video or my column is now sticky. And so my video is now stuck to the right, the top right of my browser. But you can see my icon is a bit big for that size of a video. So you could knock that down if you want. So I'm going to save out my column settings. I'm going to jump into my video settings and go to my design tab, go to my play icon. And I'm going to adjust the column size or click to use a custom column size. And then for the play icon font size, just hover over and click on the sticky state icon there. And when it's in its sticky position, let's bring it down to 50 pixels. You'll see now my icon has shrunk when it's in its sticky state. All right, so I'm going to save this out. And I'm going to go ahead and check out our result so far on the live page. So let's see what our functionality looks like. All right. So yeah, everything's working as expected. Let's go ahead and play the video. Scroll down, still playing. All right. So far so good. So if you wanted that basic functionality, of course you can. Our next step is to add the hide or show hide toggle when it's in its sticky state. So if you wanted to, like on our original example here, if you wanted to hide and show that video, you can do that with this next step. Okay, so all right, before we get to our next step, of course, welcome all of you who may be just joining us to our Divi use case live stream. Today we're showing you how to create a sticky promo video with a ShowHide Toggle in Divi. And please don't forget to check the video description for more info on this use case, including a link to our Black Friday page as well to check out our Black Friday sale, which is coming up. With that, let's continue to get going on our next step, which is to add our ShowHide Toggle for our promo video. All right, real quick, I'm gonna check on the questions. Doesn't look like we have too many questions yet, but we have a lot more newcomers. Welcome everyone. Daniel, Medex, Sophia, Michael, welcome from Los Angeles. Another Michael, welcome from Switzerland. Nice to have you. All right. Let's keep going. Let's add that toggle. So here's where we will be adding some code to get the toggle functionality, but before we do that, we need to create our actual toggle button that we're going to use. So to do that, we're going to create a button module. You can actually use any module to do this, but makes sense since it is going to be a toggle button to use a button module. All right, so let's do it. Let's add it underneath our video. So I'm just going to create a new module underneath the video. And let's add the button there. And there it is. You can see it. We are going to change the button text here to hide. And just a little forewarning, this will add some code that will actually change this text on click. So when clicking the button, that text will change from hide to show, just for a little helpful user experience there. But we're going to add hide initially. And then let's go to our design tab for our button settings. Let's go ahead and give our custom styles for our button. So we need to enable that. Let's do our button text size. Let's do 14 pixels. For our color, I'm going to do a pink color that matches our current layout here, design. Let's go ahead and take out our border width. We won't need that. Keep it nice and simple. Let's make our font. Let's do our font weight. Let's make it semi-bold. See it a bit better. Let's make it all caps, so uppercase style there. I do want to show the icon always. So yes, I do want to show the icon, and I do want to show this arrow here, the right arrow icon, but I want to show it always. So I'm going to come down to this option here, and I'm going to click only show icon on hover for button. No, we want to show it always, not just for hover. And there we go. Let's update the padding here. I'm just going to do the M length unit here for the padding around our button, just to kind of make it, a little bit more concise, smaller, because we're working with a smaller space there when the video's in its sticky state. So I'm going to do point EM for the top and bottom. All right, and then for that's right. And for the left and right, I'm gonna do 1 EM, which is the length unit that is based on the actual text size. So whatever size, for example, 14 pixels is what we have our button at. So 14 pixels, 1 EM is relative to that. So you're basically giving it 14 pixels on the right and left. So that way, when you increase your text size for your button, all these units will scale nicely with that. Little helpful tip. All right, so now let's do our CSS class for our video, which again is a selector we'll need for our toggle functionality. So I'm going to just paste it in here. I tend to get in trouble on these live streams when I type these in because I will inevitably make a typo and the whole thing doesn't work. Here we go. So it's ET sticky video toggle. And of course you can see the blog post if you need to, see what that more detail, what these names are and everything. But make sure you get the CSS class set. And for my button, right now it's kind of sitting here to the bottom left of the video, but I actually want to give it an absolute position because I want it to stay in that same spot within my column at all times. So I'm going to give it a position of absolute here. So what that does is when I give it an absolute position, you see now the button has jumped over here to the top of my column. That's because it's kind of taken out of the normal flow of the document. It's not taking any actual space up. It's kind of hovering over everything in this position on the page. So, but it is going to be limited to the container with a relative position, which is our column. So it is going to be fixed in an absolute position, but it's going to be fixed with or positioned within the column, limited to that. So if right now you can see it's set to the location of top left, that's why it's going to be at the top left of my column over here. So what I'm going to do is set it to bottom left, which puts it in a very similar, position that it was in already. And I can already tell I messed up. Okay, so real quick, pause, sorry. I'm coming back to this, but I do need to fix my padding here. I don't know why I did this, but let's go back to the padding for the button. Sorry about that, because this is important. I need some extra space for that icon, and I didn't make it, so I need to add it. For the right padding of my button, it needs to be 1.7, so a little bit more for the right side to accommodate for that icon that's going to be there. That's it. Okay, let's go back to our position. So now our button position is set to the location of bottom left, which is what we want. And also what I want to do is jump over to my design tab. So it probably is helpful to show this in the sticky position. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to bring this over here, and then I'm going to bring my video in its sticky position, because this is really where the button's going to show anyway. So you can see that it's stuck now to in an absolute position to the bottom left of my column, sitting right above my video here on the bottom left. So right now that's not helpful because it's kind of sitting over the video and it's not really going to help me when I'm toggling it on and off. So I need to make sure and position or kind of move that button over to the left. And so to do that, I'm going to go to my button design settings and I'm going to go to my transform options. This is for my button, and I'm going to only add this for the sticky state. And so when it's in the sticky state, I'm going to use the transform translate, which allows you to move it around with a certain unit. I'm going to use percentage because this is based upon the actual width of the element itself. So this button is, of course, let's say it is, so the button's 100% width. So if I set my transform translate at the x-axis here, that's the bottom one. If I do a negative 100%, you see how that button moved over the exact width of itself, 100% over to the left. So that way it's, you know, exactly sitting on the left side of my column, which is what I want. All right, so let's finish off the design of the button toggle over in our advanced tab under my custom CSS, because this button, we don't want to show it on I should clarify, we only want to show the button when it's in its sticky state. So to do that, let's go ahead and hide it initially. So I'm going to display none, give it an important to override it. So display none, in fact, it's even hidden now, you can't see it. But when it's in its sticky state, so I'm going to hit my sticky state option there. I'm going to set it to display let's type it in. Okay, display block important. So now you can see it shows back up in the sticky state, which is what I want. So display none until it's in its sticky state, and then we'll see it. And that's what we want. So let's save that out. Maybe you can see the button toggle a bit better. And there it is. Okay. The last step is to add some code. This will be the code necessary to get the toggle to work properly. So let's do that by adding a code module. Let's just add it. You can add it anywhere really, but I like to keep things kind of all near each other. So I'm just going to add it under the video module here, or under the button module, either one. Oh, sorry. So I'm going to add a code module. And let's go ahead and increase the size a bit. So I definitely want to add some style tags because we're adding CSS here to an HTML document. So make sure to wrap your CSS in a style tag, and then I'm going to copy it in here, the ones that we need, the CSS that we need. And underneath my style CSS here, I'm going to add a script tags here that I'm going to wrap my jQuery code in. So I'm going to paste in my jQuery code. All right, let's get a little close up of this maybe. Might be helpful. So you can see that my CSS is, you know, this basically gives it a nice smooth transition from my toggle functionality. This is the CSS. Remember we gave that transform translate negative 100% to move the button over? Well, a similar thing's happening here to the actual sticky column. So what I'm doing here is I'm moving my column over 100% to the right out of the browser view. So that's what that's doing when it's in its sticky state. So I'm sorry, when we click on that toggle button, sorry. Let's see, what else? Important things here. Okay, so here's our jQuery for the button toggle. So this basically just whenever the user clicks on the button, so on click, the button with this class. In fact, I need to add that class probably because I don't think I did that yet. I probably rushed and skipped that one, so I'll need to re-add that in a moment. So whenever the button with that class gets clicked, we'll toggle this class active, sticky video active, which will help change that CSS at the top, or apply that CSS at the top, and then it'll also add a class to the button itself, excuse me. It'll toggle this class and make sure and change the text, so it'll show hide by default, but when you click on it, it'll show the text show. And so that's what that's doing. You can take a closer look at that functionality or that code in the blog post, but hopefully that kind of gives you a little sneak peek of what's going on. All right, I'm going to save my settings, and I do want to make sure I have my classes. So my class for my button, let me double check, make sure I have it. So I'm going to open my button, go to my advanced tab. Yes, so I have my button class. I did add that. Very good. Let's make sure my column has its class. Yes, ET sticky video. That's what I want. All right, so with that, let's go ahead and save it out and refresh. All right, so there it is. Let's go ahead and once it's in the sticky state, you'll be able to toggle that video. And I don't know if you can actually see this, but let's see. The arrow here actually rotates. So now it's pointed to the left when it shows the text show. A little user friendly interaction there. And the arrow now is pointing to the right to close it, to the left to show. All right, so that takes care of that. I know we're ready to wrap things up here, but I did want to mention a few things. For example, well, before I do that, let me make sure I don't have any questions that maybe need answering here. All right, the Marine from Texas says, loving the layers panel. Yes, if you haven't used it before, it is really, really helpful, especially for more advanced customizations when things are overlapping. It's just really handy to have. All right, so real quick before we go, I just want to mention, so now that because we have our sticky element applied to the column, I can actually add other things to the column that I want to be stuck along with it. So for example, let's say at the bottom of this page, you see how we have this button. I'm just going to copy this button and I'm just going to paste it in the same column or right underneath my video. You can see that it shows up there. Of course, I'd want to customize it. Let's do something simple like get started, something like that. And since it's in the column with the sticky position, you can adjust the style of this button on or within the sticky state. So now, just like that, you can add more elements to your sticky video. Excuse me. Of course, you can use this to include all types of things. Let's go ahead and save that out. But I'm actually going to delete the button here. We don't really need it. But one more thing I wanted to show you quickly, because a lot of sales pages have different layouts for their videos. A common one would be a 2-column layout. So for example, this one is using the 1-column layout. Well, what I can do is, and here's the best way to do it, I think, is to go to your Layers tab, just create a new column by clicking this add new column plus icon that shows up when you hover over the column there, and add a new one. That way it doesn't inherit any of the CSS classes of that column or whatever. And then I'm going to move it over to the top, or to the left, I should say. So now I have a 2-column layout. But keep in mind that this column with the video has everything in place to make it sticky. So it doesn't, so whatever I do to this column to the left, let's say I want to add this text module in here. That didn't work. Let's use our layers tab. I'm just going to drag it into my column there. So I just moved that text module into here. So this would resemble like a 2-column layout. Of course, I'd want to go in here and align the text to the left or whatever, but let's go ahead and save that out and show you what I'm talking about. So now I have a new layout here, but the video will still take on that sticky position like normal, because it's at the column level, not the video level. So, and of course the column over here will stay put. All right. That pretty much wraps everything up. Let's see if we have any more questions, and then I'll leave you guys to have a great day or night, wherever you are. Oh, I do have a good question from Jonathan here. If you play the video and hide it, it stops playing, or I'm still able to listen to its audio? Yes, I actually thought about that option, or including an option to maybe stop the video when you hide it, but no. The way it works now, it's just going to hide it, so you'll still be able to hear the audio. Hear the audio while you browse. So if you do want to stop it, you'll have to stop the video and hide it, or something like that. But in the future, I plan on covering some. This brings up a good option. Because of this setup here, you can actually include your own video embeds however you want into the column, and it will adjust just as long as you have responsive width set for the video. It will just respond and stick with this current layout. For example, I could just embed my own HTML5 video code in there if I wanted to get to just do it myself if I don't want to use the video module, or just embed other third-party videos in there, like YouTube or any Vimeo, any of the others like that, and it should work fine. So it has a lot of options for creating your own unique video solutions, and then have them stuck as you scroll. But great question. I'm glad you brought it up. And I plan on including in future tutorials some cool things to do with HTML5 video in Divi. And I hope to maybe touch on maybe some ways to, play and pause the video using, button or external button links and toggle links and stuff like that. So yes, it is possible to do with a more custom setup. Great question. All right. All right, well, that's all I got for this video today, guys. Thanks for joining us. And be sure to subscribe to our blog newsletter, our YouTube channel, and like us on Facebook. Give us the thumbs up, of course, if you like the video. And make sure you click to get those notifications so that we can let you know every single time we have something new for you. Be looking forward to our next live stream, which should be this Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, the weekly WP Roundup. And we should be back here next Tuesday, maybe. I don't know, with Black Friday coming up. But usually every Tuesday at 3 p.m. we have a new Divi use case live stream like the one we had today. Also, don't forget to check the video description for more info on not only on this use case, but on our Black Friday sale, which is coming up soon. Some amazing deals, including 25% off everything, chances to win prizes, exclusive theme builder packs, product layouts, header and footer layouts, perk discounts for the marketplace. So many things. Check it out. The link's in the video description. And that's all I got. Thanks again for joining us, guys. I'll see you in our next video.